What's happening, everyone? Jinsula here with a brand new Pokemon GO video, and today we're going to be doing something a little bit different from what I usually do. I'm going to be giving you a bit of a vibe check with my own personal Pokemon GO account. Now, for the past couple of weeks, I've been struggling to actually be excited for Pokemon GO. I feel like when Max Battles were first released, I was definitely very active within Pokemon GO. Hold on, I'm gonna take on this Team Go Rocket battle here. And yeah, I actually enjoyed Max Battles in the beginning. I actually thought it was well designed. It was something that I chalked up as a huge win. But unfortunately, it just did not stick. I do feel like with the release of Gigantamax Battles, that's kind of where it started to fall off for me. Mainly because it was not accessible content. Because, well, we all know the reasons why. Just, I could not get 40 other players together. Like, I could have joined up with some communities, but I just did not have the time and energy to do that. And I do feel like with that whole mess, it just deflated a lot of my excitement for this new feature. And I've not necessarily been that engaged with Max Battles ever since. So I've been focusing on a lot of other things in Pokemon GO. Hold on, I should be paying attention to this, but yeah, let me beat this real quick. Bada boom. When it comes to other things in Pokemon GO, I guess the times that I log into Pokemon GO and I get very active is when there's different events like research days and raid days, different things like that. But aside from that content, I really do not feel compelled to play on the daily. Like, there really isn't much to do in Pokemon GO right now. Sure, maybe there's a couple of raid bosses that I'll go after. I did do a lot of Giratina Origin Form raids. But just in general, I just haven't been feeling that excited. And the one thing that I am looking forward to is the Global Wild Area event. I think that's definitely going to be really exciting. But aside from that, I really do not think there's a lot going on in Pokemon GO, unfortunately. I want to get really excited about the game. I really do want to engage with a lot of these new features, like with the Dynamax Pokemon and with all the cool max battle system. Like, I really do want to get engaged with this, but really Niantic needs to redesign this whole thing. Like, when it comes to Gigantamax Pokemon, that was something that was just a huge miss for me, and it really did deflate my excitement for this new feature. Like, I cannot repeat that enough. Now, when it comes to certain Pokemon that I've caught recently, there have been a couple of standouts, and it's really because of those different in-game events that I mentioned before. I managed to pick myself up a 100% IV Giratina Origin Form, which is super exciting. The only issue is I do not have the XL candies to max it out. That's definitely going to be a big part of the grind. If I do any raid battles, it's going to be for those Rare Candy XLs in order to get those XL candies. And then hopefully I'll be able to max it out before the next season so that I could use it for the Master League. That would definitely be really cool. And then I also picked this bad boy up through an egg hatch. It was something that was a pleasant surprise. I typically do not get good Pokemon from hatching eggs, but I'm definitely going to be saving this one for a future community day. It's definitely going to be a really nice Pokemon to have. I do predict that it's going to be a very powerful fire type, but we'll just have to wait and see. Now, in terms of those Research Day catches, of course, we had the Yamask Research Day a couple of weeks back. That was definitely really exciting for me because I've always wanted myself one of these, a high IV Shiny Galarian Yamask, as well as a high IV regular Yamask, which I managed to pick up a 93%. I'm telling you guys, the Research Days are extremely underrated. Like, the fact that you can get Pokemon like this, you have a much higher chance at getting yourself a Shundo or a high IV Shiny from a Research Day compared to a Community Day, or even a Raid Day for that matter. Actually, I take that back. Raid Days are probably the best way you could get a Shundo without doing lucky trades, so I do encourage you to do every single Raid Day. That's something that I really need to emphasize more on my channel. But yeah, Research Days are really great because I always end up getting myself, actually, let me see here. I'm gonna say 98% and shiny. Oh, not shint, shiny. Wait, am I doing this right? All right, let's do 98% plus shiny. Okay, that's not working either. All right, well, let's do shiny plus not normal, shiny plus 3 to 4 stars. And let's just look through some of these. All right, so here we go. A 96% shiny Oranguru. That's something I got from a research day. A 93%, no, that's from a community day. There's another one that I got fairly recently. I don't see it. Where are you? Well, anyway. Oh my god, did I transfer it? That would be terrible. I believe I got, well, yeah. Just a bunch of 98%, 96%, a couple of Shundos that I got. Yeah, just research days are great. And I have to say, every time I say on my channel that these events are super underrated, I really mean it. Like, you should care about research days. But in any case, yeah, so I have some really great catches recently. I do think that, for what it's worth, I've been a little bit lazy in terms of getting the buddy adventure ratings up for these, and like this Galarian Yamask. I should have evolved it by now. Like, honestly, it's been my buddy for the past couple of weeks, and I just did not do a lot of raids the past couple of weeks. I haven't even been using my daily raid pass. Like, that's just how it's been. So yeah, I really do think that there needs to be more content that's actually compelling. I think the first thing Niantic needs to do is fix up the max battle system. I do not like the fact that we're limited to how many max particles we can have every single day. I think that's a huge misstep in the design of this new feature. And then when it comes to Gigantamax battles, yeah, they're very well overtuned. Even with the nerfs that they did to get Gigantamax Gengar, I still felt like it was next to impossible to do them without any kind of remote help, or just by myself, obviously. So yeah, these are some of the things that Niantic needs to go back to the drawing board on. Yeah, because otherwise I'm just not going to care about them, much like a majority of other players that I talk to. But for the most part, I think some of the stuff that's coming in the near future is actually pretty exciting. I mentioned earlier the Wild Area event. I think that's definitely going to get me excited for Pokemon Go once again. I'm really looking forward to it. I think it's actually looking pretty good on paper. I think it's not getting as much attention that it deserves. For a lot of players, they're not necessarily caring about it simply because of the fact that there's such a huge emphasis on max battles, and like I said, oh, what did I just get? Oh, it's a collection challenge. I didn't even realize I had one. Let's actually finish that up. Oh, it's just one Pokemon? Okay. Oh, it's the Harvest Festival collection challenge, duh. But, yeah, it's just, there's not much going on in the game outside of that, and I think that's all leading into people just not feeling that excited for the Wild Area event. And I think that's a real shame because, yeah, like I said, the Wild Area event is looking to be really good. Like, I actually think this is going to be one of the most unique experiences that we're ever going to have, and there's going to be a lot of really good Pokemon for us to get, and a lot of really cool shinies. And of course, a brand new Pokemon, Toxtricity. I think that one Pokemon is going to have a lot of implications for Pokemon Go. And players are not necessarily seeing that because at the end of the day, it's going to be all about max battles. And because of that, players are just simply not caring right now because max battles are something they're not interested in. So I think this is something that Niantic needs to understand, is that when they're throwing these sort of events like the Wild Area event, it's really going to depend on the vibe of the Pokemon Go community on whether or not such events are going to succeed. So yeah, it's kind of unfortunate because I do think that this event would have drawn a lot of positivity for Pokemon Go, but that just does not seem to be the case right now. And yeah, that's quite unfortunate. So yeah, big missed opportunities there, but overall I'm feeling kind of neutral with Pokemon Go right now. There's definitely reasons to be hyped up for it. There's definitely a lot of really nice Pokemon that I've caught over the past couple of weeks, but from a gameplay point of view, it's just hasn't been that exciting, and that's really unfortunate. And I totally recognize that I'm saying all of this with the perspective of being a day one player. I do think that for newer players of Pokemon Go, they're going to have a much different experience. There's definitely a lot to be excited about if you just started playing Pokemon Go, but if you're someone like me who has been playing for the longest time, then yeah, there's really little to excite you nowadays, and I think that's something that Niantic really needs to fix because, you know, with a game that's been out for this long, you would think that they would have fixed a lot of the long-standing issues. You would think that they would have, I don't know, created different things in Pokemon Go that would have definitely drawn a lot more excitement and kept the game fresh, but they haven't really been doing that. I think there's stuff like breeding, there's stuff like, I don't know, beauty pageants, stuff that's in the mainstream games that could translate over really well with Pokemon Go, but they haven't been doing any of that. They've been trying to go the direction of different things like community-based play, which I could totally understand why they want to do that, but it's just not clicking with the Pokemon Go community right now. It's not clicking with me, per se. And I know for a lot of other players, they actually like a lot of that stuff, and I totally think that's okay. That's totally valid. But for players like me, who have been playing since day one, a lot of that stuff is just, it's just kind of yesterday's news at this point. Like, yeah, back in the day, there was a lot of fun that was had with community-based play. Like, the original raid days were really good for that. The fact that it was all legendaries, like all of one legendary. It was like a super long extended raid hour. That's basically what it was. And it was a lot of fun. If you had like giant wafu groups, you had people like communities coming together and like hopping into one car and just doing as many raids as they possibly can. You would map out routes of different gyms and like try to be as efficient as possible. Like, it was a lot of fun in that aspect, but those days are long gone at this point. I feel like a lot of players just simply do not play the game in that way anymore, and Niantic is trying to bring it back to no avail. And yeah, that's something that I really hope they kind of walk away from in 2025. I doubt they will, but that's just how I've been kind of feeling. It just doesn't seem to be the same game as it used to be, and Niantic is trying desperately to bring it back to those days, and they just simply can't. So yeah, that's just how I've been feeling about everything. Hopefully things will change in the coming weeks. Hopefully things will change in the coming year. And I really do think that, for what it's worth, Pokemon Go is still a fun game to play. Don't get me wrong, but they're not doing enough to keep my attention and the attention of a lot of veteran players. So yeah, that's really going to be it for this video. I just kind of wanted to just unload a lot of my thoughts, give you a bit of a vibe check on how things are going for myself and how things are going with Pokemon Go in general, like how I've been feeling towards the game. And hopefully this is something I could do a little bit more regularly. I did make a similar video a couple of months ago, and it did get a lot of views. It seemed like it was received really well, so I think I'll do this a lot more. I think it's nice to kind of just have a bit of a raw, just kind of a rant session like this every now and then. You just get my thoughts out there. It definitely helps me gain different perspectives on Pokemon Go, so yeah. But in any case, that's going to be it for this video. Thank you for making it all the way to the end. If you have any things you want to discuss regarding the things that I talked about, definitely share those thoughts in the comments down below. And yeah, hopefully we'll have a great discussion, because there's definitely a lot of things that I'm certain players are going to disagree with, and certain things that players may agree with, and I would like to hear those thoughts. So yeah, that's going to be it. I'm Jinsula. Be safe, have fun, love yourself, and I'll catch you on the next one.
진솔아와 함께해